Hey guys, I'm Dimension Jump, and today I'm doing my top 5 Legend of Zelda side characters. Now, throughout the Legend of Zelda series, we have seen various characters, whether they're main characters, side characters, or any other characters in between. And I'll just be going over some of my favourite side characters on this list. So for number 5 is Groose from The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. Now what I like about Groose is that his characterization in the game is probably one of the best ones. Not just in the game, but probably in the entire series. Mainly because he kind of starts out being the sort of bully. And then he kind of like, throughout the game, he starts being more friendlier to Link, and he actually helps him out in some cases in the game. Like for example, for the second and third imprisoned boss fights, he can chuck bombs at it so he can be stunned for a bit, so that Link can either destroy its toes or try and hit its ceiling spike thing. And I do enjoy Groose when he's like on screen because he has a lot of cool moments in Skyward Sword. For number 4 is Beedle from various Zelda games. Now what I like about Beedle is that he's probably, like, out of all the designs in all the games that he appeared in, he's probably one of the oddest designs, because he's got like the big bald head, he's got like that weird nose thing, and I quite like his obsession of bugs, like in Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild, where in Skyward Sword he has a bug for a pet, and whereas in Breath of the Wild, if you have some quite rare bugs, he will ask you for them in trading for like a fairy tonic or a specific ingredient that might help boost your stats, that sort of thing. And yeah, I really do enjoy how he says, thank you, and all the other things that he says, like when he's like talking to Link. And I feel like he's really interesting and unique character, and I would like to see him return in Breath of the Wild too. For number 3 is Saria from The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Now what I like about Saria is that at the beginning of the game, she's introduced as your friend that you've known for your life, in times of when Ocarina of Time starts and stuff like that. And I really like how Saria helps you throughout different parts of the game. For example, she teaches you her song that you can teach to not only the leader of the Gorons, but also to a Skull Kid. And with like the Skull Kid, you can get like a piece of heart. And with the leader of the Gorons, you can enter Dodongo's cavern and wipe out all of the monsters. And then later in the game, when you're trying to find and free all of the sages, you go to Saria, and she says that she will help you stop Gandalf, because she is one of the 7 sages. And I think that she's just a really cool, interesting character, and it would be cool to see probably a descendant of Saria, possibly, even though that might not happen. Because it could happen. I'm not 100% sure. For number 2 is Starvin from The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks. Now what I like about Starvin is that he kind of has a similar characterization with Groose in terms of in Spirit Tracks, Starvin begins as a villain, but then he turns over and becomes one of the good guys. And that's kind of similar with Groose, how with Groose he becomes a bully, and then he becomes an ally with Link. And I really like Starvin because he's got like that sort of like mystery to him, because the only thing that we know about him is that he worked for the spirits and for Argen, and he like wanted to gain more power, and the only way he wanted to get more power was ask Manadus to give him more power so that he could gain the power he wanted. And I really like how he helps as soon as both Manadus and Cole betray him. He helps out Link, Argent, and Spirit Zelda, and he tells them, oh, you need the specific compass to get to get to where Cole and Manadus are. And I really like him, and I also like his gauntlet, because in the boss battle that you have with him, he can detach the hand part, and he can chuck it at Link, and then you can pick it up with Phantom Zelda, and you can pull him down, and you can do like a lot of sweet, nice combos. And also, it'll be nice to see him appear in Smash Bros. The DLC character, hopefully. And for number 1 is Linebeck from The Legend of Zelda, Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass. Now, what I like about Linebeck is that he's probably one of the coolest characters in the games that he's appeared in, that being Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. And within Spirit Tracks, well, I'm really going to be talking about him from Phantom Hourglass because he's more kind of like important in that story rather than in Spirit Tracks. So what I like about Linebeck is that in Phantom Hourglass, he's shown to be this sort of cowardly figure. When you first meet him, he pretends to have twisted his ankle, and then he basically just tells Link to hurry up with a specific thing he's going to do, like finding all the spirit fairies, trying to find all the rare metals, doing this, doing that. And I also like how when you're battling Jolene, who was like an associate with Linebeck, I like it how he hides in this little crate, and that every time you fight and beat Jolene, he just appears out of it, just like, oh phew, Jolene's gone, we can go now. And I like it at the end of the game when you're battling Bellum, that Linebeck has the courage to pick up the Phantom Sword and just like try and like wound Bellum, but then he then becomes possessed by Bellum, and then they both become Bellumbeck, which is a cool design, even though it basically just looks like a giant regular Phantom with a giant sword and can do like tornado attacks and stuff like that. But I do like Linebeck, and I think he's a really cool and interesting character, and I really like for him to make somewhat of an appearance in Breath of the Wild 2. So yeah, so that's been my list for the top 5 favourite side characters in The Legend of Zelda. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.